Education Service must be part of the ongoing strike by NAT and NAGRAT.
Tonight to bring you details of that crucial meeting that was expected to end the strike.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belacqua Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better gem protection, and Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all. It was billed as the only realistic avenue to bring an end to the devastating teachers' strike across the country, but it failed to achieve its objective. Now, the meeting called by the National Labour Commission and attended by the leadership of the various teacher associations and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission ended with a 7-day ultimatum issued to the striking teachers to return to the classroom as negotiations continue. Now, that meeting, instead of ending the strike, has rather angered the Teachers and Educational Workers Union. Joy News can confirm that the union has met and formally decided to join the NAGRAT and NAT nationwide strike. We will hear from TEWU's president shortly. But first, this was the outcome of the meeting from the perspective of the Fair Wages Commission's Communications Director, El Ankra.
I would say the meeting was quite successful. The National Labour Commission sat on it, and the conclusion was that we will get back to the drawing board, we get back to the discussion table, and we further directed that the teachers will have to return to the classroom. So this is more or less like what happened the last time we came around. And it's not. I've been saying that the strike action was not triggered by the fact that we were not engaging the teachers. In fact, we were in the middle of discussions prior to the action. It was a total surprise to us. So the Labour Commission has ruled one more time, they've directed one more time that we get back to the discussion table.
And was there any firm commitment from the teachers that they are returning to the classroom?
I would want to say that the NAGRAT president gave some form of commitment to the chairman of the National Labour Commission. He said he was going to take the message to his rank and file, and I think it's towards the position of returning to the classrooms. We'll wait and see how they take that.
Well, while that meeting was going on, the Teachers and Educational Workers Union was also in a crunch meeting that resolved to formally join the nationwide strike. But why? I've been joined on the line now by the president of TEWU, Peter Lumo. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Top Story. From what I hear, you were not part of this meeting with NAGRAT and NAT. Why?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. From what I hear, you were not part of this meeting with the Labour Commission together with NAT and NAGRAT. Why?
Well, we were not aware of any meeting at the Labour Commission till around 9 a.m. when we were to start our management committee. So the one who called, we told the person who were in our management committee meeting, because we had the invitation this morning. And unfortunately, this is how TEWU had been treated. The meeting in the Flagstaff House, we were not invited. I was in church 9 a.m. I was called to come to a meeting at the Flagstaff House. I have to leave my children in the care of somebody and go to that meeting. And the same thing happened. Since Sunday, yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, nobody has spoken to us till this morning.
So you had your own meeting today. What did you decide?
We have decided to ask TEWU members to join the ongoing strike because the issues at stake do not affect only NAT and NAGRAT members. It affects TEWU members also. And we have raised this several times. Last Friday, when organized labor met the vice president, I raised this concerns. Sunday, at the meeting with the chief of staff, I raised similar concerns that the issues affect TEWU members also. Is it because we have not declared a strike, so people are not taking us serious? And then you invite NAT, NAGRAT to Labour Commission, and you leave out TEWU. So around 9, when we are our management committee. So we are asking TEWU members to join the strike.
Okay, stay on the line for me. Thankfully, we can speak to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission because they were part of this meeting. I've been joined on the line now by El Ankra, who is the head of communications at the commission. Thank you, El, for your time here on Top Story. Now, Teo says they were invited late and therefore could not make it to this meeting. Can you explain how that happened? Hello, Ms. Ankra? Okay. Understand the line just dropped. We'll get him back on the line and put those questions to him. Mr. Lamont is still with me on the line, though. I'm asking if you were invited at 9 o'clock, is it possible that you could have still made the meeting, seeing that, you know, you were a key stakeholder in this whole process?
It's impossible because our management committee was meeting. Our members all over the country are calling, what is happening, what is happening? And we had to meet, discuss, and tell them something. So we could not postpone our management committee at 9 a.m. and go to that meeting.
Okay, I'm told that Mr. El Ankra just joined us again on the line. His line just dropped earlier. Thank you, Ms. Ankra, for your time. I was asking because we just heard from the TEU president saying that they were invited late and could not make it to this meeting. We are now hearing they've called a national strike together with NAGRAT and NAT. That is already something you're dealing with. Can you explain why they were invited that late, at 9 a.m. when the meeting was this morning?
In fact, this is something I will not have the competence to be able to address because that invitation was extended by the National Labour Commission. So I wouldn't know the details about that. But we have to know that sometimes these things, given the situation at hand, the National Labour Commission could extend invitations that come as late as 6 p.m. over here at Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. We cannot say, okay, this invitation came late, so we're ignoring it. So it happens. I'm sorry it happens that way, but this invitation did not come from Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. We were also invitees to the meeting at the National Labour Commission.
Be that as it may, you have a worsening situation on your hand right now because they have now formally joined the strike. You have to deal with this.
It's unfortunate because at the National Labour Commission today, the National Labour Commission competently listened to all sides and decided we should go back to the discussion table. They also directed that the teachers return to the classroom. So if TEU is deciding to go on strike, I wonder how that's going to work out exactly because the teachers are to be, and from every indication, given what transpired at the Labour Commission this afternoon, the teachers will be going back to the classrooms any moment from now. If TEU is deciding to go out in the streets, that's a little misjointed. And I will encourage them on behalf of Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to get to the discussion table, whatever they want. Our Fair Wages and Salaries Commission sometimes, and he knows, you don't need an appointment. We'll come around and fix a date and time, and we discuss the prevailing issues.
We'll look at the outcome of this meeting shortly, but let me put a few issues now to Mr. Lumo. You heard him there. He's a spokesperson for the Fair Wages Commission. He says, well, he's apologizing for the late invitation, but he's urging you to join the discussions. Will you join the discussion and hold on?
Which discussion? We are not aware of any discussion.
Obviously, we know now that there was some meeting today between NAGRAT and NAT. We are hearing now that they have decided to somehow go back to the classroom. I'll get the details of Mr. Ankra, but that's certainly something that will influence your own action going forward, because if the two key groups are now saying that based on today's meeting, they will reconsider their decision, that leaves you standing alone.
Well, that is the two groups. I've not heard the two groups say they are going back to the classroom. I've not heard that yet.
Let me get that clarity from Mr. Ankra. Mr. Ankra, you mentioned in passing right now that you are expecting any moment from now that NAGRAT and NAT will go back to the classroom. Is that exactly what the situation is?
Following the directive of the National Labour Commission and what transpired this afternoon, I want to believe that they will get back to the classroom because there was no indication that they were not going to listen to the directive of the National Labour Commission.
So did you get, correct me if I'm wrong, did you get a firm commitment from NAT and NAGRAT in this meeting that they were going to go back to work?
They did not object to it. That much I know. There was no strong objection that they're not going to go back to the classrooms. The whole thing is as if, let's do whatever we can to push these guys into the classroom. That's not the objective. The objective is to bring sanity into the whole thing. We are supposed to go back to the discussion table as we were before. In fact, I have to reiterate that prior to this strike action, we were at the table and discussing issues. It was of total surprise to us, a Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, that they went on strike. But all that aside, the important thing right now is they have concerns. We believe they have genuine concerns. We believe the leaders of NAGRAT and NAT want genuine solutions and prompt solutions to those concerns. Where do we get the solutions? The solutions will not come from the street. The solutions will come from around the table. So I believe it's in their interest that we get back to the table. But it is also a directive from the National Labour Commission that they get back to the classroom. So,
just right there, you mentioned NAGRAT and NAT, that they have genuine complaints. What about TEWU?
Well, the issues of TEWU I cannot address at the moment, because when we met this afternoon, it was a directive to teachers. This whole TEWU part is, I think, look, if they have issues, at the end of the day, I believe they want solutions to those issues. Where do we solve the problems?
As Fair Wages Commission, a commission with high powers, have you reached out to them? Because we knew from the start that they also had concerns. Have you reached out to them to get them to the table, discuss, and get them to this point where you are with NAGRAT and NAT?
This will start a whole new conversation altogether. The gentleman on the other side of the line knows that we have sat with them on these particular issues. They still claim they are not satisfied. It's about different classes of skills and that they want considered into certain premiums, I believe. And we have given them our position.
And your position? Sorry, Mr. Ankra. Your position is what exactly?
The challenge of my job is not about articulating issues. About those parts I cannot articulate on air. But he knows we have addressed some of their issues. There are some other issues that we think, well, we cannot go over there because it will cause ripple effects all over the single spine, all over the single spine structure. And so it is surprising to me that these issues are still being raised and being thrown up there. But if they have issues, the best place to address them is around the table, or possibly go to the National Labour Commission. If like you said, he wasn't happy that the National Labour Commission. Let me correct this to that. I apologize because I expressed sympathy for them not having gotten invited early enough. But that wasn't an invitation we threw out. This was the National Labour Commission that threw out the invitation. So Fair Wages has nothing to do with that.
Okay, let me get some clarity from Mr. Lumo. You've just said that the issues that TEWU is raising is something that you've clearly told them what your position is and tried to address it. Mr. Lumo, is that the case, really?
I'm surprised about L's position. Last Wednesday, this week, TEWU, NAT, NAGRAT met Fair Wages and Ghana Education Service Management. I'm saying that Friday, at a meeting of organized labor chaired by the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, I, as the National Chairman of Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC, raised TEWU's concerns at that meeting. Sunday, with the Chief of Staff, I repeated the same issues, that the issues affecting NAT members and NAGRA members in terms of conditions of service, incremental jumps, and what have you, affect TEWU members. We are also part of the Ghana Education Service. We have outstanding issues with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, where the National Labour Commission wrote to Fair Wages as far back as December. Fair Wages have not responded to the National Labour Commission's letter. So please, let's be serious.
Okay, definitely, we've not had the last of this. As this intensifies, because TEWU just joined that nationwide strike. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That's El Ankra, is a communications director with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Also, you had the president of TEWU, Peter Lumo, also speaking to us about their decision taken 2 hours ago to join the nationwide strike. We're going to monitor quickly and see if NAGRAT and NAT will indeed go back to the classroom, because you're getting some indications, as you heard from Mr. El Ankra, that they did not object to the directive for them to return to work. That's something that we'll monitor closely. You want to join us on Newsnight for that detail as well. This is Top Stories, brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy. Still 100% better germ protection, and Blue Rose Limited, shelter for all.